It's Player Talk Radio, man. Let's get into today's show.
You're now in the mix with the young DJ Kuda.
Tonight we gonna be going in.
All the ones and joints and tunes.
Let's get it.
On Player Talk Radio.
It's DJ Kuda back in the building, man. We're gonna dead a lot of arguments on today's show, man. So for real, it's Player Talk Radio, man. Let's get it, man. DJ Kuda back in the building, man. It's Player Talk Radio. Let's get it.
All the money in the safe. All the money in the safe. All the money in the safe, baby. Let's spend it all in a day. Wanna ball with you.
Damn,
this
son.
shit down
Yeah, you just been cracked in the head with another DJ Young Kuda exclusive.
In the face. You so pretty in the face, girl. You so pretty, you so pretty, you so bass in the waist. You so thin in the waist, girl. You so fine, you so trying to spend it all.
I just fucked up the back and I get it back again. Then in the way, but she throwing that ass. Only relate when we speaking that cash. Been stepping, intercepting. For the friends and the best. Whipping fish scale, you can smell. Got like 10 million on my sketch. Took like 200 on the dress. If you got it, I get it, I want it. Might fuck on your baby mama. 100,000 ain't no money. I blew that on
with the young DJ Kuda.
Tonight we gonna be going in.
Bought his and her voice. Set them on his and her
On Player
voice.
Talk Radio.
And I did it all in the day. Shopping at Fifth Plaza. Really don't matter. Cause I got it. Put the Louboutins in your closet. Let's go break the safe. Yeah, we can ball like when the Lakers play. I'ma spoil you like it's past your expiration date. Ooh, shit, bad bitch with some amazing face. Hey, let's hit the deal and leave on the paper plates. Hey, let's go count twin rollies, yeah, we matching day and days. Let's go run through all the money in the safe.
All the money in the safe. All the money in the safe, baby. Let's spend it all in a day. Just wanna ball with you. This shit down the mall or two. Buy it if you wanted to. You know how it's supposed to. In the face. You so pretty in the face, girl. You so pretty, you so bass in the waist. You so thin.
Alright, man, we in the building. This Player Talk Radio, man. It's the DJ Kuda, man, back in the building, man. If you got any questions, man, email me at playertalk8@gmail.com. That's playertalk8@gmail.com, man. What is up, man? Merry Christmas to everybody, man. This is gonna be the last show before Christmas, man. So we're gonna talk about a lot of shit on today's show, man. We're gonna dead a lot of shit too, man. The black community needs shows like this, man. You don't gotta believe me. Now, give me 1 second. Let's get into it.
Damn, son. Yeah, you just been cracked in the head with another DJ Young Kuda exclusive.
Hold on, man. We about to. I got a lot of shit going on in the background, man. Hold on. Let me get my little levels right. Hold on. We're gonna swap out. Let's get it, man. Let's Player Talk Radio, man. We are in the building, man. Let's get into the game. We're gonna get into some cool shit. Hold on, man. Let's get into some cool shit.
Now you know you gotta break the game down a little bit more. Because they might be slow.
Alright, man, we are in the building, man. It's the kid Young Kuda, definitely back in this motherfucking building, man. I'm in here doing a whole lot of shit. What's up? Christmas is around the corner. It's on Monday. So on today's show, you know what? We're gonna get into it. So, a lot of black feminists, quote unquote, like to talk shit, man. And you fellas, man, you need to shut the fuck up. Because this is to your detriment, you dumbass. For real. Now, I'm telling you, motherfuckers talking about patriarchy and oh, he wants to control you and oh, no. See, when you have feminists at the forefront, because feminists are leading the black community, you know, this is a reason why white supremacy has you in their hand and in their grasp. And I really don't, subscribe to white supremacists. I know who is who and what is what. But there's a certain amount of truth in a lot of what they say, And a lot of things that people are saying are debatable. See, black people are so far behind that we get stuck in old cliches. And what you don't understand is that what I'm telling you is that I focus on, the dominant society because this is what trickled down to the black society. It's called hand-me-downs. Now, black people have been living in a matriarch, so when you talk about the concept of feminism, you're being disingenuous, politically, socially. So, women that subscribe to feminism, this is what happens because you're essentially a woman going up against a man. And it's not the black man, it's the white man. And the reason why our women are placed in this space because they're irrelevant is because black women practice feminism but really don't understand feminism. This show will go over a lot of black people's head because you just want to fuck. It's a sex thing with black people. It's not an updated form of feminism. This is why I talk the way I am. I'm just a messenger. I'm just being 100 with you on today's show. And it's going to offend a lot of people, but you have to understand it's the truth. Now, black women that are offended by what I'm saying, understand this. You're practicing an old form of feminism. The form of feminism that you're practicing is dated. Now, other black men, see, I will get called an idiot. See, there's a difference between being an idiot and a genius. Because when you're one or the other, you're kind of onto something. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm an idiot, I'm speaking really smart to be an idiot. So it's either you're going to be an idiot to the public or a genius. You never see them call stupid people stupid. Like really stupid motherfuckers. You never see them get called stupid. Anywho, I'm ranting. Now, if you don't believe me that you're practicing an outdated form of feminism, I got a white supremacist male that's here. His name is Milo. He shuts a lot of people down. This is essentially the fight, and this is on the forefront of the black community, and this is another reason why we don't have shit. Now watch how he shuts this black feminist down, because, see, what you have to understand is that not only has black feminism ruined a lot of, not black feminism, but feminism in general, not only has it ruined a lot of people, white people and black people, but it's practiced in the black community. And the thing is, and it's ruined a lot of black families and relationships. Now the thing is that our women are practicing an outdated form of feminism, and it's actually really obvious. Now the thing about it is that he's gonna point this out. Watch, he's gonna point this out. But what I'm trying to say is that you have to understand, it fucked up the black community, and then at the same time, the white man is keeping score. This is a weapon that you unveiled against us back in the day. You understand what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting to hear a white man's perspective on black feminism being practiced. Now watch this. And because you have to see how she gets checked. By the end of this interview, this woman wants to fuck this white man. I'm telling you. But don't let me say it. Let me let you hear it. Because this is the thing.
Hi.
This is the thing. Black people are genetically modified and taught that if this is why I'm gonna get fucked up by or called out on the first part of the show. But listen to what I'm saying. We don't listen to shit if another black man says it. I will come under scrutiny and criticism. But now, right here, you're having a white man say the exact same thing that I'm saying, and you'll listen with an open ear, black people. Now listen to this. Listen to this.
Hi. Okay.
Now let me speak. Listen.
My name is Tanae. I'm the current president of our NAACP chapter.
Great.
And so I just have a few questions. During your entire presentation, I noticed that you failed to mention that feminism is the belief that men and women are equal. So do you not think this? And then also, I noticed when you were talking about America's values and about how great America is, you failed to mention that our nation was built on the power of white men without the acknowledgement of black people, the Indians, women at least. So do you not think that men and women are equal?
So this is the thing. You cannot introduce feminism and black people in the same breath. Let me say that again. You cannot introduce feminism and black people in the same breath. Not in any type of real conversation in this country. Ladies, you don't know your history. Because if you are pro-black and you are, this is why these bitches are stupid. And a lot of these bitches, they try to seem smart to y'all niggas just because y'all niggas don't understand what's going on and what to look out for. A lot of these bitches try to seem smart to y'all niggas, but they're hoes. They're intellectual hoes. For real. I kick it with them all the time. I'm telling you. I'm not bashing them or calling them out. I'm just showing you what the fuck it is. So, what you gotta understand is that this is black people's plan overall and strategy. If you look at the overall shit, this is why we're being overridden. This is their plan to introduce feminism and conscious black people. That's your plan, bitch? Well, listen what happens when this is your plan. Listen.
Not acknowledge the problems that we have here in America. That does, in fact, not make America great.
All right. No. Let's be respectful.
I mean, not triggered. I understand how to handle myself,
ether you,
unlike
bitch.
some Trump supporters.
Guys. It was a perfectly reasonable, respectful question. Let's be respectful.
Thank you.
On the first half of your question, women don't agree with you. Fewer than 1 in 5 women in America describes themselves as a feminist, even though over 85% of them believe in inequality between the sexes.
Now, what he said, and what you guys got to understand, is he said women don't agree with you. He's a white man giving you direct information. White women don't agree with you, bitch. They don't. He gonna ether you. Listen to this.
Why? Because they know that feminism has become something different now. They know that the feminism you're talking about...
Feminism has become something different now. He knows the feminism that you're talking about. Oh, yeah, the feminism that we gave to y'all black bitches, the shit that y'all black bitches practice against your man, yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You get the real right here. Here you go.
It's very convenient, isn't it, to sort of treat men like shit, and then when people say, I'm not a feminist, say, oh, but feminism's out of quality.
And that's the exact strategy that black feminists use on black men. To treat us like shit. You're not going to treat a white man like shit. That's not your man. You're going to treat a nigga like shit. But let's go.
That's not what feminism has become. It's not what feminism is anymore. Feminism is a mean, vindictive, spiteful, nasty, man-hating philosophy.
So
that
why
has very
would you
Well, let me
promote-
finish, because I let you finish, okay? That has very little to do with the equality of the sexes and a lot to do with man-hating. And the way that you know that is women are abandoning it in their millions. Women don't want feminism anymore. They have rejected your version completely. They don't agree with you.
And by your version, he means the version that the white woman sold to you, bro. And don't try to come and debate me and talk about bell hooks. Bro. Boy, let's finish this.
In the UK, the numbers are even worse. Just 7% of women in the UK describe themselves as feminist, despite the fact that 92% of women in the UK believe in equality of the sexes. It's very clear what's happening. They don't believe that those two things mean the same, because if they did, they'd give the pollsters the same answer to both those questions. Women know that feminists say one thing and do another. Women know that the primary purpose of feminism these days isn't to promote equality, it is to beat down on men. So you've lost, you have a big PR problem on your hands. And when you come up and say, well, how dare you not mention that it's actually just about equality of the sexes? Don't you believe in equality of the sexes? I very clearly said in my speech multiple times that I do, and that I love women, that I care about them. But, this sleight of hand that feminists play, when they're perfectly happy to treat men like shit and spread these conspiracy theories about the patriarchy, these lies about the wage gap, lies about campus rape culture, and then turn around and play the victim and play innocent and say, feminism's just about equality. Give me a break. Give me a break.
So,
nah, bitch, shut up. This is what happens when you put these quote unquote conscious, because a lot of, you know what a lot of women like to do? They like, this is why I can't talk to a lot of conscious women, fake conscious women. We kind of talked about them. The fake conscious women. They like to mix consciousness in with feminism. For real. It's in their indoctrination. They like to mix it in. So, and it depends on how it is. Like, I can tell when I speak to one. And never mind. Let's listen to the rest of this. Look, she just got ethered. You bitch, you don't know what you up against. Listen to this. She gonna want to fuck this man. She's gonna want to fuck this man because they know what it is. When you get eloquently put in your oh my God. Oh. When you get eloquently and I don't look, anybody can get put in their place. I can get put in my place, nigga. When you get eloquently put in your place, it's gonna turn into attraction, man. That's game. Alright, let's finish this clip, man. Because y'all don't nobody come on here and try to. This is why nobody says shit. Don't come on here and try to debate me, man. Listen to this show. Listen to this.
As to your second part of your question, I get some shit from conservatives for this answer, by the way, but I agree with you. I agree with you that there are structural historical problems in this country. I agree with you that black community has been treated like hell by both Democrats and Republicans. I just don't think Black Lives Matter is the answer. I don't think that throwing your toys out the pram and burning your own cities is the answer. I think better schools would help. And I think if black people really wanted to improve their lot and improve their situation, they would start voting for Republicans. Because when they do, and when people police properly, black lives are saved. Bill Clinton, who signed the crime bill in which took thousands of black dads out of families and threw them in jail, the terrible, pointless, awful war on drugs, right? Replacing, the black dad with the state, which is what Democrats have systematically tried to do to you guys for generations. And Black Lives Matter's response isn't to say, we're going to try voting for the other guys because 40 years of this hasn't worked. What we want is better schools so that a poor black child who is smart could go to Harvard. They don't do that. They cause a fuss, they block a road, and they burn their own towns down. So yeah, I agree with you that there's a problem. But I think we probably have very, very different prescriptions for that.
So yeah, man. That's your answer. That's your answer. Because I debate with a lot of fake, conscious, black. This is the thing. See, that you're doing too much in a lot of these cases. Because there's so many ways to... This is why I don't argue with women no more. I mean, I lie. I mean, sometimes I argue with broads online. Because they just say stupid shit sometimes. And they like to call me ignorant and all this other shit. Because of the message that I'm saying. Because everything is debatable. The thing is that, fellas, the plan of your woman that claims that she is conscious or politically inclined is that, oh yeah, we're gonna take down, we're gonna bash our brothers, right? This is her mindset. We're gonna bash our brothers because they're gonna say this is your mindset. You're gonna bash your women and then blah blah blah, subjugate them and then all this other. They do that feminism shit. So this is the thing because see. Black masculinity is easy to talk about. When we're talking about empowering ourselves and building, we're going to talk about getting in check and getting in order. But the problem is, feminism is about divisiveness, not getting in check, getting in order, being an individual, being self-sufficient and all these other things. Because a lot of women want to, quote-unquote, liberate themselves. They want to be independent. They want to have shit. Nigga, you're a woman. You're a woman too. Everyone's woman. And black people, we want to liberate ourselves. We want to have apartments in our names just by ourselves. We want people to to say, we want to say, what am I trying to say? I'm fucking up. We want people to say that we did it by ourselves and they didn't give us shit and blah blah blah. We talked about this on the last show. And the thing is that let's get it right. Hold on. We're gonna spit some game before we get into the mix, man. The thing is that, you know, here we go. Hold on. Let me get my levels right. The thing is that we wanna say nobody didn't give a shit. So the thing is, when you try to get your woman in check, she's gonna give you some stupid ass feminist rhetoric. And when she gives you this rhetoric, this stops building. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is this is what your woman is trying to go into a political battle or whatever. This makes her inferior. This makes her stupid. You understand what I'm saying? This is gonna go over a lot of motherfuckers' heads. But the nigga that's listening to this, you're getting the real message, man. Your woman it's debatable. Your woman cannot introduce consciousness, feminism, independent. You know what I'm saying? Consciousness, feminism, independent, and what else they try to introduce? And single motherhood and all this other shit. She can't introduce this and put this on the table as a damn debate. It's debatable, and it contradicts them. It contradicts everything. Never mind, man. Look, listen to this. Then we're gonna get into the mix, man. This is just, I don't know, man. Y'all know I'm not good with delivery and shit. Like, I've never been good at delivery, but anywho. I mean, I'm good at delivery, but I'm not good at delivery. Listen to this now. We're gonna stop all of the debates on today's show, cause that whole LGBT thing and the whole feminism thing kind of got us a little riled up. So we're gonna dead it on today's show. So anytime in the future somebody says something, my fans, point them to the show, please. Point them to the show. If you're a moderator and you listen to me, point them to the show. Listen to this.
Watts blew up. The urban...
Listen to this.
That ties in with something I saw you tweet. You said you tweeted the science behind our suffering is deep. Today's Negro and nigga are absolutely lab creations.
Absolutely. We are documenting that since 1965 in particular, when Watts blew up. The urban rebellions that just shook this country. And then that was followed by Detroit in 1967, and then in 1968, 100 cities blew up. This was, according to the government, an eruption of what they called angry black masculinity. The problem was black masculinity. The solution from the government's perspective was neutralizing black masculinity. Thus, the many feminizing, deliberate feminizing efforts of the U.S. government. We've documented them. We have receipts. We have confessions. We got governmental documents of, for example, the National Institute of Mental Health, specifically indicating that in their effort to biomedically control black males of the inner city, they were going to administer to black boys a drug called Depo-Provera. Mm-hmm. Now, Depo-Provera today is a female contraceptive. It's a female birth control. Mm-hmm. But before it was a female birth control marketed specifically to black women, it was a sex-inverting chemical in the laboratory. It was a chemical that scientists used in the lab to cause sex or gender inversion, what we call transgenderism. Depo-Provera induced homosexuality in lab animals. That same chemical that induced homosexuality in the lab became not only the female contraceptive targeting black women, but it became the drug that the U.S. government under Dr. Frederick Goodwin, who headed the National Institute of Mental Health, that drug was selected to biomedically control black males of the inner city.
So, listen to me when I tell you, I got this shit. Trust me. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I have receipts. Nigga, Our history is a big ass receipt. I have receipts. I have receipts. Alright? Alright, man, let's get into the mix, man.
Now you know you gotta break the game down a little bit more, because they might be slow.
I broke it down. Listen, I'm a beast. Let's get into today's mix, and then we're gonna get back into today's show. Still don't think I have receipts? I got a big old receipt coming up after this mix. Come on, man. Let's play. We can play on today's show. I got a big ass receipt coming up after today's mix. Let's get it. Let's play a talk radio. Shout outs to Fab, man. Shout outs to Fab, man. You know what I'm saying? Ride for the black community. I'm telling you, man, I know what I'm talking about, all right? So, listen, man. People will call me an idiot. People, oh, you stupid. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Listen. Oh, yeah, bitch, shut the fuck up. Anywho. Listen, man. Let's get into the mix. And let's finish off today's show. Let's play a talk radio. Let's go. Shout outs to Fab, man. Let's get it. Play a talk radio.
I get a rush from your touch, sorta like a high. I used to adore your presence, now I'm like a buy. Kept it 100 with you, what give you the right to lie? We in two different spaces, and we done turned Gemini, completely changed faces. You wouldn't understand even if we trade places. You never find another me face.
My life ain't sweet. I don't know.
Play it on radio.
My shoes might wanna tiptoe in that. Walk slow with that. I'm the same, ain't changed, but the haters where homies at. Got me like, damn, where my homies at? Fuck it, it's just me. Can't hold me back. You just can't bite the hand that feeds you, especially when the hand's illegal. Guess you could consider it a lesson learned. I'm guessing it was just my turn to learn the hard way. You can't always trust the ones you love. Oh yeah, I think I remember you. So familiar too, but you just wouldn't do this to me. I know you just wouldn't do this to me. Not you, not you. I'm sorry, I must have you confused.
Yeah, you gotta take the good with the bad. Love what you got, remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from mistakes, but never regret. I feel like it's coming, it just ain't evident yet. You wanna take off, go ahead, rev up the jet. Ain't gotta act like our paths should never have met. Let's be happy apart instead of together upset. I got the least out of something I put the most into. It's fucked up when assholes are who we toasting to. You remind me of somebody that I used to know. Me and that other you weren't introduced before. And I don't like that bitch. We go from belly voice. I don't like that shit.
I don't like that shit.
Who's gonna fill your space? That's still the case. Ben Frank's the only familiar face. Get money.
I think I remember you. Yeah. You look so familiar too, but you just wouldn't do this to me. I know you just wouldn't do this to me. Not you, not you.
You're now in the mix with the young DJ Kuda.
Tonight we gon' be going in.
Let's get it. On Play It Talk Radio.
A good thing, and that ain't a good thing. Take it how you want. Oh yeah.
I guess she forgot how I used to hold her them nights she was going through it, crying on my shoulder. And did a 360, it's like she got colder. Starting to regret all the things that I showed her. But I'm a rider, she used to be my roller. I guess the general just lost his best soldier. I thought I could.
Let's get it. Let's play a talk radio, man.
Some type of bond and got close to her. She must be to me.
That's just how we could. 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 From the same clothes. From the same clothes. From the same clothes. From the same clothes.
You're now gon' be going in.
Let's get it.
On Player Talk Radio.
Run the same clothes, run the same clothes, run the same clothes, Hey, that my dog, that my bro, like we share the same blood. All my niggas move the same, bitch, we tryna run it up. Never pressure about these bitches, all they want defending. Never pressure about these niggas, they flexing for an image. It ain't no chosen one, yeah. Cause all my niggas getting it, some nigga went to college, some nigga was in the kitchen when it's time for war. Hey, all my niggas with it, we gon' go handle their business, then we right back to them bitches. That's just how we cut, that's just how we work. Early morning for the cash, that's just how we lurk. Just left the dealership, check the paperwork. We getting played from the 1st to the 31st. Hey, in the streets, you ain't cut out. Beef, you ain't cut out. Cry button, edit these niggas, I had to cut out. We got bum money, bitch, I smile in the mud shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold. That's just how we cut, nigga. That's just how we cut. That's just how we cut. That's just how we cut. Run the same clothes, run the same clothes, run the same clothes, run the same clothes. Hey, that's how we cut. That's just how we cut. Hey, that's how we cut. That's just how we cut. Hey, run the same clothes, run the same clothes, run the same clothes, run the same clothes. That's just how we cut.
Tonight we gon' be going in. On the ones and joints and twos.
Let's get it.
On Player Talk Radio.
Shout outs to After the Party, man. Shout outs to my nigga, man. After the Party, what up, nigga? I'm outside when you're ready, man.
I'm outside when you're ready. I'm outside when you're ready.
Happy birthday party.
Okay, egg white looking cocaine. Who's a nicer blow? Place your bets, no bookie. Molly spin my roll, head so good it shook me up. When I do a show, cost a lot to book me up. And I know my role, do this on my own. Need a lot to do, yeah, need a lot to do. And I think they know I'm ready. I'm outside when you're ready. I'm tryna spend your tuition on my wrist. I'm tryna make your tuition in a week. You want fantasy like Dawson Creek. I want tandem like I'm Vanderbeek.
Shout out to Michael Penny.
She like yoga, I'ma be a chick.
Mike, what up, boy?
I am like I'm a girl, she ain't that sweet. I just bought a photo, I don't need a key. I go down to Florida just to daily cheat. Yeah, higher education, I'm like higher, yeah. Fire, yeah, lungs are filled with fire, yeah. Stomach filled with oxys and these fucking zeds. Serotonin, dopamine all in my hands. Take it day to day cause I don't have no plans. Moving on my own cause I got all these plans. And I think they know I'm ready. Come outside when you're ready.
Player Talk Radio, man. Let's get it, man.
You're now in the mix with the young DJ Kuda.
Tonight we gon' be going in.
On the ones and joints and twos.
Let's get it.
On Player Talk Radio.
All right, man. We are back in the building, man. Oh boy, I got a lot of shit on my mind today. I got a lot of shit to do. Now, shout outs to Dr. Umar Johnson, man. That's my man. That's my boy, man. Shout outs to Boyce Watkins, man. Shout outs to Dr. Boyce Watkins, man. Shout outs to our late sister, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, man. Shout outs to Shahrazad Ali. Shout outs to Farrakhan. Shout outs to everybody, man. Now, I got a clip from Dr. Umar Johnson. And, this is just gonna dead everything. Cause these are my views. This is my basic views, but I have love for everybody. I have love for everybody. I love everybody. But things are going to have to be negotiated and discussed. Like, I mean, there's no way around it, man. Now, I am aware that a lot of this show went over black people's heads. And a lot of real niggas that's listening and want to get this game are listening. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you the game through our brother, Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, listen to this. Are some people born homosexual? Now, listen to this whole interview, okay?
Like, I've heard
listen to this.
I've been sitting there listening to you, and I have not disagreed with you yet. That's why I don't understand why so many people dislike you. Like, I've heard I've heard people say they don't want you around young black boys because of your hate-filled, erratic, and negative reinforcing persona.
No. Well, first off, I got to say, I get a lot of love from my community. Gotcha. I'm one of the most requested speakers in the country, so I get love. I'll be in Harlem on October 4th, Brooklyn October 7th, and I got to give a shout-out to New York because New York and Chicago really helped make Dr. Umar Johnson what I am. Those type of comments are coming from a select few group of folk who disagree with some of my political positions. One of them is multiculturalism. I'm not a multiculturalist. And the reason I'm not a multiculturalist is because multiculturalism has been used to attack the black agenda. The reason they want African Americans to pay attention to everybody else's issues instead of their own is a way to detract from ours. We didn't get the Civil Rights Bill being multicultural. We got the Civil Rights Bill by advocating for discrimination against African Americans. That's not to say you can't have collaborations with organizations representing other cultures. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to make sure you're sticking to your agenda because everyone does. Okay, the Jewish community sticks to their agenda. Latino community sticks to their agenda. Arab, Asian, East Indian, they stick to their agenda. And African Americans have this issue of always wanting to include everyone else. And in the end, you get what you got with the Civil Rights Bill, a situation where everyone else benefits more from something your ancestors died for.
That's why when you hear somebody say Black Lives Matter, people say, no, all lives matter.
And what does that do? When you say all lives matter, it takes attention off the fact that police are selectively exterminating African American males. All lives do matter. But we're talking about the black ones that tend to get overlooked. Whenever a black boy is murdered by the police, the first thing they say on the news is, well, you know, he stole a soda, or he was in juvenile incarceration 5 years ago. He was suspended 50 times. Does that justify the life being taken?
Absolutely not.
You see, so because I'm unapologetically African and I don't push the multiculturalism, that becomes an issue. Another issue, obviously, is the LBGT issue. Okay.
Yeah, you said some interesting things about homosexuality.
But here's my thing.
You said, how can you prepare for war with white supremacy when you want to have sex with the white man?
True. But here's the thing. No, but hear me on this. I want to clarify this, though, Ivy. Let me clarify this.
No, you got all the time you need.
Because I don't hate nobody. You understand? And as a therapist, I do therapy with homosexual males all the time. And for a lot of them, one of the precipitating issues that led to the homosexuality was childhood molestation by an adult when they were still a child. So I have an empathy for that. So I'm not going to go around ridiculing somebody because they're gay or lesbian or bisexual, because I know there's issues in their childhood that help bring that about. But at the same time, I reserve the right to say, I don't think this is in the best interest of my community. I don't hate you, but I'm not going to support it because I don't see the long-term benefit of practicing this type of behavior.
Do you think people can be born gay?
No, I don't. And there's no conclusive evidence to that point.
Wow, you know, a lot of gay people say they were born that way. They said that, you're saying
a lot of murderers say they were born murderers. A lot of pedophiles say they were born pedophiles. So if we're going to say there's a gay gene, we're going to have to open up the conversation and say that there's a pedophile gene, which means if I molest children, I shouldn't go to jail because after all, it was in my DNA.
What did I
Be
say
careful
yesterday?
about opening up one door. You got to open up all them doors.
What did I say yesterday? I said, if you keep acting like that, in about 15 years, people are going to be like, oh, pedophilia is just something
Well, no, hold on. Being a pedophile is illegal. Being a homosexual is not illegal.
Well, true, but guess what? When the DSM-5 came out last year, that's the Bible of diagnoses, they say they accidentally put pedophilia in as a sexual orientation. Having sex with kids accidentally was not listed in the DSM as an illness. They had to quickly fix to change that, and I think they did that on purpose because there's an organization called the North American Association for Man and Boy Love. They're trying to normalize and legalize pedophilia.
Oh, no, we got to blow them up.
It's on the internet.
Now, what did we have a show and I told you what was gonna happen when I told you that they're fighting for not pedophilia, but they're fighting to be what's it called? Pedosexual. Remember I told you? Go back a couple of shows. Go listen to Study.
The American Association.
That sounds crazy.
Oh my goodness! In fact, it's already been predicted that when the next DSM comes out, pedophilia will be normal behavior.
We need to drop a
Remember,
bomb on them
homosexuality
right
was once mental illness up until 74. They changed it in 74. Some people thought homosexuality would never be considered normal in 74.
But it was never illegal.
It was never illegal. But here's the thing. Once you say something is normal, it's easy to make it legal. So if this pedophilia piece gets accepted as normal behavior.
No way.
Okay?
So
that's a step toward.
Death to all
So you don't
pedophiles.
think gay people were born gay? You think that there's
totally
a reason why they
environmental.
became gay, whether they were touched as a child,
Learned behavior.
or
Yes.
learned behavior. Really?
Yeah, most of them, not exclusively. What I find 3 major reasons for homosexuality and lesbianism. Number one, the absentee of that same-sex parent. When a boy, opposite-sex parent, no, same-sex parent. When a boy doesn't get the love of his father, that can create a thirst in him for masculine energy. No, stay with me.
I'm staying with you.
What he wants is a father. He wants that because a boy has a love affair with his dad, not sexual, but psychological.
Right.
Your dad is who makes you a man.
Right.
If that dad was not there to do that, sometimes your thirst, your desire for that parental masculine supervisory figure can lead you to hunt for it. And what is nothing more than a love or need for a father gets misunderstood and reinterpreted by popular culture as your desire to have sex with that man.
Is that why Lil Wayne called baby daddy?
Probably. You see,
guy will throw anything left. Go ahead, man.
But you follow me on that.
Yeah, I'm following.
You see, I didn't have my father. I still need that validation from a man. When I get older, I'm looking at men and I'm craving his love.
Is that true?
Oh, this happens. You think it's homosexuality. It's not homosexuality. You just need that masculine nourishment that you never got. Same thing with the girl. She never had a mom. She's still thirsty for that. But I will say this with females. Lesbianism is often triggered, by abuse, sexual, physical, and verbal by males. And a lot of teenage lesbian sisters who were not sexually assaulted end up becoming lesbian because of this growing hatred and dissatisfaction with black manhood and what it can do for them. And even for other cultures, for a growing dissatisfaction with the role that the man is playing. So, for example, when I talk to the lesbian students in the schools, they'll tell me, I know I wasn't born gay. I chose this, Dr. Umar, because men ain't no damn good. I've been raped, I've been beat, I've been abused. My daddy ain't been there. Why do I want to be with one of y'all? I'd rather be with a woman.
Well, it's the flip side, too. A lot of girls are dabbling in it now because the guys think it's cool. I think it's cool for girls.
Yeah, you can get turned out into it. I've seen that, too. Children with low self-esteem, outsiders, they are particularly susceptible to being recruited by the lesbian and gay gangs because they're outsiders.
Well, and also because sometimes men, in order to keep a man, they're like, well, he can't just be with me, so I'm going to get down with the program, and I'm going to sleep with other women, too, because I know that's what he wants. He wants to have threesomes.
I see it. I hear a lot of that stuff, of women doing stuff, even adult women, doing things that they man want, all this freaky-deaky 2-3 women stuff. The relationship ends, and now she feels hurt because I've done something extra that I'm ashamed about with a man I'm no longer with, you see. But the thing with women in relationships, they need to come to the relationship with rules. They need to know what principles, what I'm not willing to do regardless, because if you're not married to him, he can walk away at any moment. He could do the same thing in marriage, but at least there's some semblance of a commitment. But to be doing all this sexual stuff like this, having all these escapades, he walks away. Now you know how many emails I get from women saying I've done this and I've done this and now I just felt used and abused. Why did you do it? You got to take some responsibility, and as you don't go that far with a man who you ain't got no commitment from. But because of the mass incarceration of black men, so many women are so thirsty. They're like,
I feel like there's a shortage.
I got to do this because I'm not going to have a man. And unfortunately, a lot of them were modeled inappropriate behavior by their mothers. For a lot of women, black, white, rich, poor, having a man is part of their definition of being a woman. And when having a man is part of your definition of being a woman, any man will do just so you can feel like a female.
Now, you're a psychiatrist. I like everything you're saying. The homosexuality part always confuses me because I got a lot of homosexual friends, and I always say, if they tell me that they were born gay, I got no choice but to believe.
But here's the thing. You don't know what you were born. None of us do. You understand? Especially when you're dealing with psychological issues. For example, some African Americans will say, I was born hating myself because of the legacy of self-hate taught through slavery. You wasn't born that way. It was passed down into generations. For example, they'll say alcoholism is in the family. A lot of psychologists will argue this. I don't agree with that. Alcoholism is in the family, not through the DNA. But I grew up seeing my father drink. I grew up seeing my grandfather drink. It gets passed down. Materialism. You're going to tell me materialism is in your DNA? So the grandmom was in love with expensive things. The mom was in love with expensive things. Now the daughter's in love with expensive things. So remember, again, if you open up the door and say this is in your DNA, then everything is in your DNA. And if you're a person of color, you got to be very careful about that, because the science of eugenics, which is white racism, says what? Every behavior and character flaw of African American people was passed down through their DNA.
So that's why I'm telling you, lesbianism, not lesbianism, but the feminist community messed up by accepting the LGBT. Once you open the door for one thing, you're going to have to open the door for a whole bunch of other things. Good or bad. Good or bad. You can't get mad at me for saying that. Good or bad. So that's why I'm telling y'all, listen to what the fuck I'm talking about. Umar just said it. He's a scholar. He's a scholar. Fuck what you about to say. Are you gonna tell me what he's saying? Isn't this? Come on, man. Come on, man. It's too late in the day to be fucking up. Come on, man. Come on, black people. But no. Y'all gonna disregard everything. Listen to this.
We rob, we kill, we sell drugs, and we steal because of the.
And that's why y'all niggas have no reason to promote this before your own blackness. Listen to this. If you simply just did your history, shit will be a cakewalk. You will know. You will answer so much questions. But okay, listen.
Effective DNA. They claim behaviors are DNA based. Homosexuality as an act, okay? If you're going to claim that that's DNA based, then guess what? You open up the door for them to also argue, well, if homosexuality is based in the DNA, maybe selling drugs on the corner, maybe not marrying your women, maybe having 50 kids out of wedlock, maybe that's also DNA based. If you open up the door for behavior to be blamed on DNA instead of circumstantial situations, you're going to have a whole new ball game here.
So okay, you want to open this school for boys, right?
Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey Academy, and we're trying to purchase the St. Paul's College, which is a historically black college in Lawrenceville, Virginia. You went to Hampton, so you might be familiar with St. Paul's, okay, right up the road. And it's been closed since 2012. They want $2 million for the school. So I went down there, met with the president, did the tour, yada, yada, and we've been trying to raise that $2 million. So far, we raised $500,000. Okay, we still got 1.5 more to go. I'm hoping we can get this school before someone else does. It would be perfect because it's in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by African-American community. It'll be the perfect setting to get your children out of the inner city, detox them. For the first 6 months, ain't no video games, ain't no none of that stuff. Okay, we got to remake you, detox all that filth from the hood, and we're going to teach you character, self-discipline. We will have agricultural science. They have to learn how to grow their own food. Political and military science. They have to understand the world in which they live. Why are so many black males being murdered by the police? Why was Obama made president? There's reasons for all of this. Why is Africa the most minerally rich continent on the face of the earth, but yet the people are the poorest? I want them to understand the world that they live in. What exactly is white supremacy? Okay? Know that. Okay? Why are black folks in the condition they in, even though we're the 10th richest nation on the face of the earth, grossing $1 trillion, and yet we ain't got schools, hospitals, and none of that? There's reasons for all of this. We're also going to give them a dietary and nutritional curriculum where they know how to eat to live, because 85% of black folk are dying from preventable diet-related diseases. Them chicken wings are killing us. McDonald's, it's killing us. So they need to learn how to eat to live. There will also be a financial curriculum. By the time they finish the 9th grade, they can do their own taxes. By the time they've done the 10th grade, they will have their own business plan. Grade, they will have their own business plan. By the time they've done the 11th grade, they will have their own portfolio. They will know how to invest in the stock market by the time they conclude the 11th.
Who's going to pay for all this with these students, though?
Well, the parents will pay tuition. And don't underestimate black parents' ability to pay tuition, because they paying it at these white schools all the time. Right. I'm doing IQ tests every day for folks I'm looking at. I'm like, you can afford $15,000 a year? Yeah, I could do it for both my children. They would do it. The reason our parents are sending the kids to the white schools, there's no black private schools that they feel are up to the standard of what their child needs.
I was going to say that I feel like, HBCUs get a bad rap because I feel like parents don't necessarily think that kids will get the same education and the same look on life when they
it's
go
the
through those
stereotype,
types of
but
things,
also
you know?
HBCUs are taking a hammer because the white schools, predominantly white institutions, have stepped up their recruitment of black children. See, 75 years ago, you couldn't go to Harvard and Yale just because of the color of your skin. Now, Harvard and Yale got scholarships just for black. Look at Harvard. They got a scholarship where if you're from the hood and you got a 4.0 and a perfect SAT, we paying your whole ride. That's $250,000 education. You don't pay a penny. So because the PWIs are stepping up their recruitment and the black colleges are not. Think about it, Envy. Look at Hampton's recruitment for new students. And then look at University of Virginia's recruitment for new students. You might see Hampton at some of the college fairs, but most of the black schools only go to the black college fairs.
So
go to all the college fairs.
Yeah, so should the black schools start recruiting more white people then?
No. They're recruiting too many. In fact, a lot of them are at risk of not being HBCUs no more because like Howard and others, they're recruiting so many white students that now the black students are getting concerned whether or not this is still historically a HBCU.
Yeah, no,
and half the HBCUs are about to be shut down anyway because they ain't got the money. Remember, these colleges were started with what? Land grant money. UK, and ex-slaves off the money they had.
So to South Carolina State.
Exactly. But with the inflation, you can't operate that school unless you have a serious benefactor who's going to keep that money flowing. Now, I'm going to put the hip-hop community, on this one. The reason Harvard and Yale are doing as good as Harvard and Yale is doing, because their alumni come back and contribute in significant amounts. I don't know what Puff is doing for Howard. He might be doing something. But if you're not Puff, you need to handle that. Oprah, you went to Tennessee State. What you doing for Tennessee State? And even if you didn't go to a black college, Sean Carter, Beyonce Carter, y'all need to dot one of these schools. LeBron, y'all need to dot one of these schools. Lil Wayne, y'all need to dot one of these schools.
HBCUs, especially people in the industry, you know, when I was in school, they looked down on it. They frowned upon the music industry. And I know that I don't know if that was a problem with Diddy too, but when I was in Hampton University, they frowned upon music industry. They wanted you to go to Wall Street. They wanted the
white collar.
Exactly.
White collar.
That's what they wanted.
Well, you got to think, in the 60s, you didn't know that.
I didn't go to school in the 60s. I didn't go to school in the 60s.
Well, you just made a good point. But you're also highlighting one of our biggest weaknesses as a people. The one product that we own exclusively is music. It's America's second leading export. Right. You mean to tell me that hip-hop is a black product, $1 trillion economy, and we don't control no share of that? That's insane. Right? Imagine if we control black music. It's the second largest export from America. If you control that, every community would have what it needs, from hospital to jobs and so on. So we got to look at how we, going back to our issues of loving everybody else and not loving ourselves enough, why do we create so much and pass it over to people outside the culture? And then when Macklemore and Eminem get Album of the Year or is considered the best rapper of all time, we get upset. But you're the one who made it comfortable for them to come in and colonize your art form because you said all music matters and not just black music matters. If you notice, with cultural products, most cultures, they build a protection around it. You don't see Jewish culture being exploited. You don't see Mexican culture being exploited. You don't see East Indian culture being exploited. The only culture that gets exploited on the globe is black culture because we feel there's something wrong with saying that this is for black folks primarily. You can partake, but we the be-all and end-all in that.
Would hip-hop be as big as it is, though, if we hadn't had made it multicultural? Like if we
No, it was money in it, so it was going to expand regardless. You see, you look at the Straight Outta Compton. You understand? Easy and them still directed the content of their music. Jerry Heller got paid off of it, so you could have expanded and still maintained control, over the product. Gotcha. We didn't have to sell it out. Remember, back in the 80s, if you was signed to a major or doing some crossover music, they said you sold out. Everybody done did it now. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody was chasing that dollar. And the issue with music is you got to make a decision, exposure versus control of the product. If I want exposure, I'm assigned to a major. I'm going to get all the exposure I want. I'm going to be Billboard top 10. But how much of the sales am I actually accruing? It's almost like sharecropping. Black music, you're sharecropping. You're producing a product, and then the company is keeping most of what you produce.
It's like what you said earlier. It's all in education.
It's all in education.
It's all in education. It's all in what you taught.
It's all in education.
When I graduated school and I was in the music industry, my mom and dad was like, nah, you got to get a regular job. You got to go to Wall Street. They didn't believe in owning your own. You know what I mean? And most black parents, African American.
My bad, y'all. Let's go back to that interview.
Black parents, African Americans, they don't know how to teach their children how to own
Because
their
that
own.
wasn't the culture they was raised in.
How to do the stock market. They don't know how to invest in business. They don't know. So if they don't know, they can't teach their children. And if we don't have school, we don't have Jack and Jill programs, we don't have HBCUs, that's the problem. But the problem is that the Jack and Jills are so watered down. The HBCUs are so bad right now. You feel like, me as a father, feel like I prefer my daughter go to an Ivy League school because I feel like she'll have a better opportunity.
Maybe that's by design. Maybe.
But here's the thing. If the community were organized, there wouldn't necessarily be a problem with your daughter going to Ivy League because there would be a reason why she's going. She's going to Ivy League for a particular reason. But Charlemagne's son, he might need to go to an HBCU for this reason. The problem is because we're disorganized, we cannot determine what is and what is not in the best interest of the community as a collective because we're disorganized. Think about it. We don't even have a professional inventory. We don't know how many black teachers we got. We don't know how many black barbers we got. We don't know how many black psychologists we got. We might got certain professions that have so many black folk in them. No other black child can go to school for this. We don't care how much you love it. You're choosing something else. That's what Asian communities do. That's what East Indian communities do. You don't just run off to college and, well, this is what I want to study. What you study must be relevant for us as a people.
You're going to be a doctor.
Exactly. And they tell you. They tell you. In China, they will tell you.
You're going to be a lawyer.
And guess what? They won't argue it. You know why? Because I want to serve my people. And if serving my people means getting this MD or this PhD or this JD, that's what I'm going to do. But in the black community, it's each man for himself. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to be.
I got to get this money, Dr.
Or
Umar.
follow your dreams.
The money thing is relevant. And one of our big issues with our young people, why they dropping out of school like crazy, is because they're not making no money. When we went to school, we had work study. Once you get high school, couple hours of learning in the day, afternoon, you was on the job. Where's work study at now?
That's true.
So black kids are dropping out of school because they're seeing Shakespeare and Columbus is not going to put no cash in my pocket.
Nah,
so then the question becomes, how do you blame them for selling dope when there's no economy for them? A African-American child has the single most difficult time of finding employment in the United States. According to the Department of Labor, they will hire a child who doesn't speak English before they hire an African-American child because of the stereotype. So if you don't know why kids are stealing cars and hustling credit cards and selling crack, nobody will give them a job. Crime. You're not born a criminal. Criminals are made by the society. And the mother of all crime is miseducation, and the father of all crime is economic castration. If you don't give me a decent education and you don't give me a job, I am a criminal waiting. Take me. I got 6 degrees, but take my PhD. Take from me my certifications. I'll be out there selling crack, doing something I would have never thought about doing to feed my 2 daughters. Because we got to recognize when people don't know how they're going to eat from day to day, that creates a psychology of desperation and panic. And you'll do things you never even thought about doing. It's easy to judge people when you're comfortable, which is why I tell black educated folk, because they can be very bourgeoisie.
Absolutely.
I can't stand those bourgeoisies who grew up in the ghetto, got their masters and doctors. Now you acting like you forgot what it was like to be in the hood. And now you want to judge these children instead of providing a way for these children.
Now, I will say this.
And that was that interview with Dr. Umar Johnson. All right, so that's the end of today's show. So, clap it up for Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, all right. So, to close out today's show, hold on, give me 1 second. To close out today's show, what I want to do is I want you guys to refer to today's show as a like a marker or indicator to not be debating with people or getting to stupid ass conversations with people, especially, you know what I'm saying, our sisters, when they bring up that dumb shit to you. And I want you to really go back and listen to all the clips that were played on today's show, because those are some deep clips. I want you to research half the shit that was talked about, even though I know half of y'all won't, but if 1 or 2 people does, that's perfect. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Now, you know, because a lot of this information is going to go over a lot of people's head. If you made it to this part of the show, you will realize that a lot of that information is going to go over people's head. Because first of all, is when you learn this, what are you supposed to do with this information? Where do you start? How can you help? Blase, blase, blase. That's the initial thought behind it. So you got to realize that we're not in the shape to do what we want to do, and that you have to take a different approach to what you're trying to do. But the beginning of that approach is to first of all know your history, because when you do things and don't know what's going on, what you're trying to do first of all is reinvent the wheel. And if you haven't heard how the wheel has been invented or seen how other people try to do what you're trying to do right now, you will realize that you're common and that what you're saying is damn near irrelevant. Even what I'm saying is irrelevant. If you got any questions, email me at playertalk8@gmail.com. That's playertalk8@gmail.com. I'm going to try to have a guest on the show, but this is the Christmas show. This is my gift to you. This is the end of 2017. Definitely listen to the facts that was broken down in today's show from beginning to end. This is not hate speech. This is none of that. This is just pure truth put down. So stop believing these little fake conscious broads that try to introduce feminism, and then you see how they're really living and how things are going with them or what they're really talking about, and not making no damn sense, because that doesn't work. If you believe it works, refer back to the first clip in this show. Stop trying to talk about, gender roles and how masculine and feminine qualities play its role in certain things. Refer to the second clip of this show. And just any problem in the black community and moving forward, refer to the third clip of this show. The second and the third, fourth and fifth, I said fourth and fifth, there's no fourth and fifth. Second and third clip of this show are what you need to focus on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a song on the outro of today's show, and I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or Hanukkah or whatever you believe in. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay.